Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to this video, guys. My name is Liaquat and this is my YouTube channel, Roots of Knowledge. If you guys are familiar with it, then just leave a comment. And if you're not familiar with it, hit the like button, subscribe button, and check out the videos that I put up on a regular basis. Right, so we are continuing with the story of the Sirr al-Musafir. This series is dedicated to those of you guys who want to learn how to understand text, vocab, writing as well. And also, I would say this course is also, or the series is also very good for those of you guys who really want to experience the Arabic language in a different setting rather than studying it through the normal textbooks that many of you guys study. So let's start then. So he says, قال الصغير. So الصغير. So let's first of all read all this text. قال الصغير لم أره من قبل على الإطلاق. كان عمري 2 فقط عندما تركنا وذهب ليبحث عن الرزق في الأرض كما ذكر ذلك في رسالة أو ذكر ذلك في رسالة تركها وراءه قبل سفره. ومنذ ذلك الوقت انقطعت أخباره عنا ولم نعد نسمع عنه شيئا وأخذت أمي تبكيه كما لو أنه قد فارق الحياة. قال أوجست للصغير يؤسفني ذلك يا بني. Right, so قال الصغير. So remember the صغير, you know what the صغير means, yeah? So the صغير is talking about the minor, the person who is the child. Yeah, so the young person. Right, so the young person, the young boy. And لم أره, لم أرى, I have not seen. Right, so أرى, رأى, يرى, to see. لم أره, I did not see. Min qabl, before that. So this word qabalu, right, when you say with the dhamma on there, it means before all that. Yeah, so before all of that. Now normally you might use a fathan there or a kasra, but when you use a single dhamma, it has the meaning of specifically before all of that happened. Alal itlaq, itlaq means absolutely. Yeah, so absolutely. Okay. So قال الصغير, the صغير said, لم أره من قبل, I did not see him before. على الإطلاق, absolutely. So in other words, I absolutely did not see him at all. In other words, he's talking about أين والدك, remember, where is your father? And his response is, I did not see him at all. I have no recollection of my father. لم أره من قبل على الإطلاق. كان عمري 2. So كان عمري means age. Okay, so age, let me just get rid of this. The other mistake on the screen. كان عمري, my age was 2, 2 years old. فقط, only. So فقط means only. عندما تركنا when. عندما, so عندما means when. تركنا, he left us. Yeah, so ترك, let's do this in a different color, I think. So he left us. Okay, tarakna, so tarakna means we left. Tarakna, so you might get a bit confused when you're trying to read this and think, is it tarakna? So try to look at the context of it and it'll make sense. وذهب, and he went. ذهب يذهب, he went. ليبحث, so ليبحث, to search. In order, li gives the meaning of in order, to search. عن الرزق. Okay, so an here means regarding. Rizq, sustenance. Yeah, sustenance, like income. Fil ard, in the land. Right, so in other words, he went out, like he was looking for a job. He went out searching for a job. So in Arabic you would say, خرجت اليوم لأبحث عن الرزق. Yeah, fil ard, in the streets, in the land, in the cities. So when you read classical Arabic texts, the wording they use is a very sort of like, they bring it down to all the way down to nature. So like instead of saying a ship, they might say, I traveled on planks of wood in the sea. Planks of wood is like a very sort of like a very simple way of saying some sort of a ship or a boat. Kama, so kama means just as. Just as. Kama. ذكر ذلك, ذكر, he mentioned. Right, so the father mentioned mentioned. ذلك that في رسالة. رسالة is a letter. Yeah, a letter. تركها, which he left. تركها. Actually, why am I going the wrong word? ترك. We've done this word before. To left, he left it. وراءه, behind him. Yeah, so وراء, it means behind. Yeah, so behind, someone might say وراءي, behind me is such and such. Yeah, so وراءي, behind me is such and such. قبل سفره, so before his safar. قبل سفره. So safar means a journey. Yeah, so a journey or travels. ومنذ ذلك, منذ means since. Yeah, so since ذلك, that, الوقت, time, since that time. انقطعت, ceased, stopped, cut off. Yeah, أخباره, yeah, his news. أخبار means news, the news about him. News about him. عنا, from us. Oh, okay. ولم نعد, لم نعد. Yeah, so لم نعد. نسمع, we stopped. Yeah, so لم نعد نسمع عنه شيئا. So عاد يعود, it means, let me just write it over here. عاد يعود, it means to return, to come back. So when you say to someone, لم أعد أسمع هذا, yeah, لم أعد, yeah, so in other words, we didn't go back to hearing about him. Yeah, so لم نعد نسمع عنه شيئا. Yeah, so in other words, we stopped. So this word na'ud, I'm trying to think to myself, how would we use it? For example, like you might say to someone, you know, I used to play football, ولكن لم أعد ألعب الكرة. Yeah, لم أعد, I stopped. Like I didn't go back to playing. Yeah, so لم نعد نسمع, hear. نسمع means to hear. Right? سمع يسمع عنه شيئا, anything at all. So لم نعد نسمع عنه شيئا. So نسمع عنه شيء means we hearing about him something. So لم نعد, we stopped. We did not return. I don't know in English, how would we kind of translate it? Read it. If you know how to translate this very, very nicely in English, put it in the comments. But that's all I can come out with. وأخذت أمي. أخذ usually means to hold, take hold of. Here it means start. Yeah, start. So أخذت أمي تبكيه. So my mother began to cry him. So literally means cry him, but it means cry after him. Cry him, to cry after him. Yeah, so my mother began to cry after him. كما, just as, لو أنه قد فارق الحياة. فارق, it means to become separated. فارق يفارق, to separate it. حياة means life. Okay, so كما لو أنه قد فارق, just as though he had separated from life, like cut himself off from life. He died basically. It's like a polite way of saying he died. You want to say, for example, oh, you know, Zayd down the road, he died. Mata. What's another way of saying it? فارق الحياة. Yeah. On another word that we came across before, does anyone remember? Last lesson. توفي. Yeah. توفي. قد توفي. قد فارق الحياة. قد مات. قد لاقى منيته. So these are all these words that you can use to kind of make your Arabic a bit more fancy. Right? You know, you guys like fancy Arabic. Yeah. Okay. So قال, Ojas said للصغير, to the minor, يؤسفني. It's from the word asaf, which means sadness. It saddens me. آسف يوسف. يؤسفني ذلك يا بني. يا بني, my dear son. That really upsets me. So it's a very sad story, I know, and I do apologize if it's making you guys a bit teary, but it's learning Arabic, and when you become emotional, you learn faster. That's what they say. Right, so let's have a look at this again, and let's try to understand some of the words and maybe how we can say these expressions in a different way in Arabic. قال الصغير, the Saghir said, لم أره, I have not seen him. من قبل, from before. على الإطلاق, absolutely. Meaning in my life, I have not seen my father. Why is that? كان عمري, my life, my age was 2 years, فقط only. عندما, when, تركنا, he left us. وذهب, and he went, ليبحث, in search of sustenance, رزق في الأرض, in the land. كما ذكر, just as he mentioned في ذلك, that, في رسالة, in a letter, تركها, which he left وراءه, behind him. قبل سفره, so father's gone, he's left a letter while he's leaving the house, and he's left it there, and he's saying to them, basically, I've gone to search for rizq, to provide for you guys. ومنذ ذلك الوقت, and since that time, meaning since he wrote that letter, انقطعت أخباره, news of him has ceased, stopped, عنا, from us. لم نعد, and we didn't go back to hearing from him anything again. Meaning, لم نعد. So, ما سمعنا عنه شيء قط. وأخذت أمي, and my ummi, my mother, began تبكيه, بكى يبكي, to cry after him. So in English you say cry after him, yeah? In Arabic you say بكيته. Yeah, you can use other words as well, but بكيته. تبكيه, cry him. كما لو أنه, just as though he قد فارق, he has separated of life. Just as she would have cried if he died, she cried in the same manner, meaning it's like he's died. قال أوجس, and Ojas said, للصغير, to the صغير, يؤسفني ذلك يا بني. This really upsets me. That really upsets me, oh my dear beloved son. Okay, so, right, how can we sort of utilize this now? This is what I want you guys to do as well. Try and write some Arabic. MashaAllah, some of you guys in the comments have been regularly writing some Arabic sentences, and I really like that kind of endeavor, because what it does, it kind of encourages me, and it also encourages you that I know what I'm teaching is really kind of getting out there. Yeah. So قال الصغير لم أره من قبل على الإطلاق. So لم أره من قبل على الإطلاق. يعني لم أشاهده. Yeah. من قبل, يعني قبل أن ذهب, ما رأيت أبي على الإطلاق, بتاتا, قطعا. كان عمري, يعني بلغت في عمر 2 فقط. كان عمري, my age was, in Arabic you might want to say بلغت من العمر, I reached the age. Yeah. كنت في ذلك الوقت, يعني 2 من عمري. Another kind of shuffling the words around. عندما تركنا, عندما غادرنا, غادر يغادر, you might want to say. وذهب ليبحث عن الرزق, and he went ليفتش, ليحصل على الراتب, المال, الرزق, في الأرض, في البلاد. كما ذكر ذلك في رسالة, كما حكى ذلك أو كتب ذلك في قرطاس أو في ورقة, تركها, ودعها وراءه بعده قبل سفره, قبل أن يسافر ويتركنا. ومنذ ذلك الوقت, since that day, منذ ذلك الوقت, انقطعت أخباره انتهت. ولم نعد نسمع, وما سمعنا عنه شيئا. وأخذت أمي تبكيه, وأمي بدأت تبكيه, يعني بدأت, يعني تخرج منها الدموع. كما لو أنه قد فارق, كما أنه توفي أو مات. قال أوجس للصغير يوسفني, يحزنني ذلك, يحزن, حزن. Right, so I think you guys have got the idea of this. Let's just move this a bit over here, and let's look at some sentences you can try. All right, so okay, let's number 1. Question number 1. هل رأى الصغير والده? What's the answer? هل رأى? لا, لم يره. Okay, number 2. لماذا لم يره? لماذا? Why did he not see him? What's the جواب? لأن عمره كان 2 فقط عندما تركهم. Okay. أين ذهب? أين ذهب? أين ذهب? I haven't that bar there. Got a bit messed up there. الوالد. أين ذهب? Where did the father go? أين ذهب الوالد? ذهب الوالد ليبحث عن الرزق في الأرض. كيف عرف ذلك. How did he know that? How did the child know that? لأنه ذكر ذلك في رسالة تركها وراءه قبل سفره. Okay. ماذا حدث له بعد ذلك? What happened to him after that? انقطعت أخباره عنا ولم نعد نسمع عنه شيء. كيف بكت أمه؟ بكت أمه كما أنه قد فارق الحياة. Alright guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Thank you to all my patrons for support you guys show, for the kindness. And if anyone wants to become patron and likes the work I do, then please check out the description. And have a go at these questions, guys. Have a go at trying to implement them as well in your Arabic writing. And I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.